doing this because I'm a nice person. Gosh. Wait. Yo, we got a live chase going on.
Almost a head-on collision.
The new era of business is here. Use generative AI on AWS to optimize production and scale your business from local to global. With generative AI on AWS, businesses can push the boundaries of innovation.
Random. I know it's been a minute. Y'all, I'm back.
About to cross over 111th there. He's continuing northbound Yukon through that red light. Now he's just really not obeying any of these signs, lights. Forget about it. He is off.
Yeah.
I mean, he is off on his own here. He's really... This is just so scary because I can't remember a pursuit where we've seen such reckless driving without any law enforcement even posing a threat to pull him over. I mean, this is so senseless that you just can't imagine why he'd be, doing this. I mean, he's going to get himself hurt.
You don't see any units anywhere near there. I mean, I don't see any. So it doesn't look like they're even kind of staging to prepare to take this guy down. So he's just flat out there all by himself. Look at that.
Yeah, exactly right. Approaching Century Boulevard there, northbound Yukon, through another red light there. Approaching Century, he's right by SoFi Stadium. He's back in the correct lanes of traffic, but you can see this Friday afternoon, all of the pedestrians that we have seen out and about. It's a beautiful afternoon, and it's just shy of rush hour. You can see he's got this road to himself, but traffic is going to pick up here if he decides to get on the freeway. In fact, even on the 405, he was encountering a little bit of traffic, and that may be why he decided to pull off. Now he's pulling off of Century Boulevard, back southbound, off of Century, back onto Yukon Avenue. If they had units in the area, you can imagine a scenario where that might even be the same target. He might even be, he's in the same target. No, that's a Costco. It's a different shopping center. But not far. He's close to that target. He's now in a Costco shopping center. And if they had units in the area, it's a great opportunity to set up for a spike strip. But look at this wild driving through the packed parking lot, I should say, with lots of people walking around. You can see him trying to come out the other side here. He's going to end up back on Yukon. He's doing a circle around this Costco parking lot. Look at that, over the curb, jumping the curb, through the bush there, and now back onto Surface Street, coming out onto Yukon Avenue, guys.
It's almost illogical, the way he's driving right now, because nobody's pursuing him, yet he's jumping a curb, going over a bush, flying through a Costco parking lot with lots of pedestrians all over the place. It's almost like somebody's right on his tail, but nobody is there. He's all by himself. It's really incredible to watch his recklessness, and that's one of those things. I wonder what you have to contemplate in order to decide whether to bring this guy, to try to arrest this guy, because it's so dangerous.
I mean, after a while, you have no choice. There was a clear decision made earlier on, especially by the sheriff's department, to just let this go. Besides the fact that they knew it was a stolen vehicle, he really wasn't driving that unsafe. And that all changed in the last 10 minutes. We are watching an entirely different pursuit than how this all started. It was a pursuit under the LAPD jurisdiction for a short time, and then they handed it off to the Sheriff's Department. Sheriff's Department helicopter was watching this guy for a while, and eventually they decided, you know what, this is just not worth it. They handed it off to the CHP to watch from above. This has been in surveillance mode this entire time that we have been on the air. This was in pursuit mode at one point by LAPD, but that is at least a half hour ago. And now we are watching, again, a much more dangerous situation as he tries to weave through traffic here. All of these drivers that you see on this busy Crenshaw Boulevard are unsuspecting of what's coming up behind them. Look at this. He is really threading the needle here, coming so close, within inches of some of these innocent motorists, and all for what? For nothing. The big question here is why? Why is he doing this, and why is he continuing this joyride? You know, you just can't get into the head of some of these guys. You can speculate all you want, but sometimes there really is just no rationale for what we're seeing here.
Chris, it is hard to watch this because we know so many people are being put in danger. This is Giovanna Latta, Eyewitness News 5 at 5 p.m. starting now. I'm still alongside David Ono. And I've been watching this and watching your coverage of this, Chris and David, and wow, this guy is really dangerous, desperate to get away.
But where is he going? And who is he running from? That's what makes it so intriguing. He's so dangerous to himself and everybody else, yet nobody is on his tail. I mean, you wonder, he could probably just stop the car and walk away. Nobody is around to arrest him, but he's not doing that.
Right. That's exactly right. He could absolutely walk away from this if he wanted to, but instead, the moves he's pulling, it's almost as if he's living out some video game fantasy. I mean, that's what this is like. I mean, look at the speeds he's doing. He's doing about 65 miles per hour down 108th Street here in South LA. We are in Inglewood, and he is driving like a madman through these very narrow surface streets, coming very close to oncoming traffic here, all for nothing. I mean, really, there's just no, I can't make any sense out of this, but he must be having the time of his life because he is continuing to make really erratic moves for no apparent reason whatsoever.
Yeah, we often skirt by, we see these pursuits that are so dangerous, we always at the end of it say, it's remarkable that nobody got hurt, that person didn't create more damage or casualties than often happen.
Good. Everything good.
This could be it. This guy continues to drive the way he's driving.
Why y'all didn't tell me the fucking audio was loud as hell? I blasted this shit. Damn near impossible to hear me. Should have told me.
The longer it goes, the risk it just increases. And we do have some video of some of the close calls from this pursuit. I don't know if that's ready for us to share with our viewers. But there have been
I've been alright, Laura. I've been alright. How about you? How you been?
Driving against traffic, weaving in and out of lanes.
How the fuck is you doing?
No. It's coming apparently. And
David and Giovanna, this really highlights the catch-22 that law enforcement is faced with here, because the reason they don't continue the pursuit, the reason they pull back and they decide to let some of these guys go is because of the dangerous nature, because of the liability that they are faced with. If somebody gets hurt, there's a major lawsuit, and all of a sudden the department has to spill out millions of dollars. On the other hand, when they pull back and the driving continues at this dangerous pace, they have no choice but to get involved. And then again, the likelihood of somebody getting hurt goes up dramatically. Either way, it is such a dangerous game.
Wonder does he know where the fuck to
They don't
go?
want to play it. They don't have to play it. But in a situation like this, sometimes they're left with no choice. And that's what we're seeing here, where you have multiple law enforcement agencies that are looking at this, weighing
I
out
know you can hear the
pros and the
helicopter.
cons, and trying to figure out, is it
Like,
worth
what was there left
Is
to
it
do?
worth it to the pedestrians and the
There's
motorists
like
on the
literally
road
no
there?
point.
Is it worth it to put the department in that liability?
That helicopter
Or is
chasing him.
it, there's no right or wrong answer sometimes. It's really a judgment call on the part of the supervisors and the watch commanders to decide when to pursue these vehicles and when to
Well,
pull
when
back.
is this
Each
in LA?
agency
Of course
in the
it's in
metro
LA.
area
Where
has
else
a
would it
different
be?
policy, by the way. So these
Where
are not
else?
easy cut and dry decisions, but you see a driver like this with nobody behind him and the kind of driving that we're seeing, and it becomes a much scarier proposition.
And for people who are just joining us, can you explain why this pursuit, or why it was initiated in the beginning?
Are you going to join
Maybe
Fate? I'm joining. Let me finish
This all
this.
started, I
Let me
think, in
finish
the
this.
Compton
Let me finish
area, if I'm
this.
not
Let me
mistaken.
finish
Actually,
this.
it may have
At
started
least
a little further north.
you're
LAPD
like 5 more
initially tried to
minutes.
pull this driver over because he was wanted for GTA. This is a Grand Theft Auto suspect. That white Kia believed to be stolen. He's made a turn onto 90th. We're going to try and track him here. We're going around LAX's airspace. So just part of the wide shot while we try and triangulate here up the 110 freeway, trying to find the suspect as he kind of zigzags through South LA. But it started in LAPD's jurisdiction. They eventually tracked him down to the Compton, Lakewood area. Eventually, the
I'm
sheriff's
sorry for the
department
ear
took
rape.
over,
I
and then they
apologize. I
decided
needed
to
to
pull
hear
back.
if I
They said, you know what,
sound
this
good.
is
Y'all gotta
just
tell
not
me
worth
if I
it.
sound
So
good
they
or not,
decided,
alright?
even though
Y'all
it's a
gotta
stolen
tell me.
vehicle,
So I can either
driving
speak
was
more
safe enough
clearly
and he wasn't posing a major risk, they
or
just
fix the
decided
volume.
it wasn't worth it. And that has changed completely in the last few minutes since we have been on the air, we are watching a much different situation play out here, such that if this continues at this pace and at these speeds, with this kind of driving, somebody will get hurt. And so they're faced with an impossible decision. Again, going the correct way here. It's on a very narrow street here. He's now paralleling the 110 freeway. Maybe looking for an opportunity to get back on the freeway. But this is one of those situations, guys, where if he's going to do anything right now, we would love to see him end up on the freeway. That would be the best case for everybody, because it's just a safer situation. You don't have pedestrians. You don't have so many other variables where somebody can, obviously, people can get hurt either way. Now he's under the freeway, under the 110 freeway. We'll see. He's coming out the other side. He's now coming out on the west side. He's westbound. Did he go? I didn't see him come out. Maybe he's still under. Did he not come out? Is he still under?
He's still under.
He might be. Oldest trick in the book. Oldest trick in the book. If he decides to dump the vehicle under that freeway and walk out, we'll see if he comes out. There he is. There he is. He's going the wrong way. Going the wrong way. This is a surface street. This is a street that parallels the 110 freeway. It's a very narrow surface street. You can see him. He's going to come up on. He's going to be forced to make the left here. This is. There's a few dead ends over here, so if he doesn't know where he's going, he could end up locked into a cul-de-sac or something like that. He's got the window down. He's got the visor down. So you really can't see him, but he still has those windshield wipers going in. It looks like he might be on the phone.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yes. He's holding it.
That's probably why he hasn't stopped those windshield wipers from moving.
One's on the steering wheel, the other one's on his phone. And
you might be able to see better than me, David. Is he looking at the phone or is he on and off?
I don't know if that's.
The first shot, the one where he got a good shot, he was definitely filming
That's a
something
mean
on his
ass
phone.
camera, cause you saw how far that shit's
And trying to
doing.
steer at the same time. 94th and Main Street, crossing Main, down 94th, continuing. Look at the damage there on the passenger side, and it almost makes you wonder whether that was there or whether he has done that. Most likely, I'm going to go out on a limb. This is purely a guess. Probably an impact that he made during the course of this pursuit, but for all I know, I mean, this was, again, that's not his vehicle, so we just don't know. But the driving that we've seen here, we've seen so many close calls, we just haven't made an actual visual.
Yo, this nigga's still not stopping, bro. Where the fuck are you going, bro? Does he not know that there's a fucking helicopter no matter what he does? Fuck. Even if you lost the cops, there's a whole ass helicopter chasing that.
Still, though, no sign of any black and whites, but what you do
There's a
see here
helicopter
is a
there,
lot of
boy.
people
It's
crossing
too
the
late.
road, going about their day without any
you
anticipation
don't know.
of this guy flying down these narrow streets here. Once again, crossing Avalon Boulevard with cross traffic, continuing to speed through these residential neighborhoods. And I really, you just hope he runs out of gas at this point.
We're on edge, Chris, right? But I did want to ask you, so no black and whites tailing him, but what about the chopper? Is there a law enforcement chopper overhead?
Yeah, California Highway Patrol still has eyes on him.
What could this
They are still
possibly?
calling out the location. And back at
What can
dispatch,
it
there is
possibly do?
back at the
I really wonder
station,
where it can
somebody
go.
is watching and ready to make that decision. You have multiple jurisdictions, though. You have California Highway Patrol. They're watching this very carefully. They have a helicopter over the pursuit, over the suspect. You also have LA County Sheriff's Department with their own decision makers at the helm. They're watching it go through their jurisdiction. And then you have LAPD, who is watching this madman drive through the streets of Southeast LA in LAPD's jurisdiction. So you have any number of agencies here, on top of some of the smaller ones that we've traveled through, like Inglewood just a moment ago, where anybody can make the decision to engage with the suspect, get units in the area, try and set up for a spike strip if they have the opportunity. There you see, he's rolled up that window, he's got the phone in his hand,
So you
the
tell me
phone
they
in his right
can
hand, using his
intervene,
left
but
hand to steer the vehicle,
choosing not
making
to.
wild, random turns, continuing as he goes over the double yellow lines here, a whole line of traffic on 92nd Street at a red light, and you can see traffic is starting to pick up here as he makes his way down, go the wrong way on 92nd. Folks pulling over to make way for this guy as he continues to speed through Southeast LA without anybody's safety in mind here. This is just so dangerous.
And traffic is only going to get worse. It's what, just a few minutes after 5 p.m. on a Friday. A lot more people will be hitting the roads in their cars on their commute home.
Yeah, I mean,
Imagine all
occasionally he's
the
bouncing empty roads,
horns
but
this
overall,
nigga's
there's a
getting
lot of
right
traffic
now.
out on this Friday afternoon, and you can see him
He's
occasionally
honking this shit out.
countering that traffic. And in this position, he's actually forced to stop. Look at him.
He's getting out.
Getting
He's
out,
leaving.
dumping the vehicle in the middle of the street. It's a
Oh,
woman.
it's a
It's a
girl.
woman jumping out of the vehicle
What the
with a
fuck?
backpack, now running
It's a
for it,
woman.
but there's nobody behind her. There's nobody behind her. She's just dumped that vehicle, a stolen Kia Soul, in the middle of the road, and now
Yo,
she
what
is
is
just
going
going for a
on
jog
right now?
as if nothing ever happened. And without anybody in the
Dude,
vicinity,
what-
she could very well hide out easily if she
What
found
is
the right
going
hiding
on?
spot here. But she's just going to jog up Compton Avenue here on the sidewalk. We're going to
No
follow her each
fucking
and every
way,
move
bro.
here, but on foot. They have an excellent opportunity to try and get some law enforcement in the area to get this woman
Yo,
in the
yeah,
custody.
seeing
She
this
is
right
a
now?
real danger to the community. And
Yo,
I sure hope we
that's
see
crazy.
this end, with an arrest here, because she's got to be taken off the road. Absolutely.
And you would think that law enforcement is mobilized to sort of,
Where the
get
fuck
in
is
there
this
as quickly as
woman
possible
going,
without
bro?
if we can see
Where
her.
the fuck
The law
is
enforcement
this going?
chopper, they're watching as well. They're very identifiable with the white pants and the jersey shirt or whatever that is, and that she's not gonna run too fast. I mean, she's already kind of getting gassed, so you can tell. I mean, that's the ironic thing of this. The ironic thing of that.
Yo,
She
this
thinks
is the
she's just
funniest shit.
what is she trying to do here? Hitchhiking. Stop. Come on. Come on. Really? This is unbelievable. This is out of control. I mean, what is she going to do? She has no idea how many eyes are on her. She thinks she's going for a Friday afternoon stroll down Compton Avenue. She's about to be
Yo, the
really
whole SWAT
awoken
team
here
about to
if she
fucking
continues. If she
gang up on
tries
her.
to hitchhike or carjack somebody, this is going to take a much different turn. Look at her stopping traffic, trying to get a ride, looking at her hands, trying to beg for a ride as she continues walking up Compton. This is unbelievable. This is incredible. This might be a first to see a pursuit suspect then get out of the car and then try to hitchhike.
I gotta see
she not
other
hear the
shit on this, bro.
Well, she must. Yeah, multiple choppers. And, but, I'm so fascinated to see if
how this ends.
decides to pick this person up, or if she's just going to walk. Where is she from? What's her story? We just don't know. Well, she's had plenty of opportunities to hide. She can easily, find private property where she can hide. She's not
Yo,
making any
this is
attempt
so
to hide.
ghetto, bro.
She's sticking
Please,
with
my
the
nigga.
sidewalk here, just
There's no
trying to.
point,
I mean, who
bro.
knows where
Please
she's I doubt she knows where she is.
There
To
is
be honest
no
with you, but
point.
I could be wrong. But she's really looking for a ride. I mean, she's desperate for a ride, and I just don't think she understands how many eyes are on her. But she is still continuing to try and wave down other motorists. It's not going to be long. I know it seems like it's taking forever, but there are officers on the way over here, and it seems like it's, we're a mere seconds or minutes away from somebody pulling up here with lights and sirens flashing. But right now, we had seen signs that there are people watching this, and we saw a couple of guys just a few minutes ago in an intersection that saw her going by, and clearly, physically, waved and were excited about that. Those folks on that balcony might have been watching this as well, knowing that she's coming their way. So this has become a little bit of something. So there are a number of folks out there that are watching this pursuit. Yeah, now LAPD has units on the way. So LAPD Southeast units, I believe, are actually making their way over here. Like I said a minute ago, it seems like it's taking forever, but they are aware of this. They are watching this live on ABC7, and they are clearly aware of her movements, and they are trying to get units into position here as she continues to hustle towards 100th Street. She's got the phone still in her hand, a backpack, and another bag, and she starts to pick up the pace once again here down Compton Avenue, and again, not venturing into any private property. She's sticking with a public sidewalk, which tells me that she's not really making a big effort to hide. She's had plenty of opportunities to hide in a way that we would never find her, and law enforcement would lose track of her. her. That's not the situation here. But what I am curious to see is, as this pursuit starts to go viral on the internet, at what point do we start to see other people? There's somebody right there with a phone. There are already people, just as I was saying that, there are already pedestrians on the street there, well aware of this woman who is just walking through the neighborhood, and they know she's up to no good. So this is now
they're
public knowledge.
recording her
I'm
as
sorry,
you
Joanna.
go.
She's on private property now.
She is now in an apartment. Yeah, she's in an apartment
Yo, the
complex.
helicopter.
Looks like these are two apartment buildings. She's in between the two, and CHP with eyes on her here. We'll see if she might have ducked in. She might have walked into one of these parking garages or one of these carports. I don't think she came out the other side. They lost her. They lost her inside, in between these two apartment buildings.
She could have knocked on someone's door, right?
She's hanging out in the shade. That's a parking garage right there. So she might be hanging in there. Look at these people. See, these people know exactly who she is.
Oh yeah,
And everybody is watching on their phone here, trying to catch a glimpse. They're watching online. They're trying to record it. But she is somewhere in this vicinity, and they are now in a position, now that she's on foot, they should be able to lock down this apartment complex for at least this one square block. However, it's been at least 5 minutes. At least 5 minutes. Maybe I'm losing track of time, maybe even more. And we still see no sign of LAPD. We know they're on the way, but right now, no sign of LAPD, as this woman has more and more time to hide, whether she's just getting some shade or taking a rest, like you said, David. Good possibility there. She can just take a breather inside the carport, undercover, and wait this out.
She could be hiding under a car. And we don't know what the strategy is for law enforcement. They may know who she is. A lot we don't know yet.
Well, behavior alone, she's still a threat. She could be dangerous, and now she's hanging out in this property here. We don't know where she is or if she's trying to get into somebody's place. And there's a CHP helicopter that's been watching her as well. They know where she is. There's an approximation at least, and from that they can track her down. But to state the obvious, the good news is she jumped out of the car. That's when she was the most dangerous. That's when she was less dangerous now. Right, exactly right. I don't think they know who she is, because for all of this pursuit, they've been referring to her as a he, and so I think they were just as surprised when she stepped out of the vehicle. This was a stolen vehicle, a stolen Kia Soul. Not sure where it was stolen, but her actions, you're right, David. I mean, she's really, now that car is abandoned, she is not a threat, not as much of a threat anyways, as she was earlier, and now there is a belief that she is indeed hiding out in that carport, likely the one on the right there, but I'm not sure. There's two buildings there with two separate carports, and she is somewhere.
You trying to find her?
Yeah, and it's possible that all of these pedestrians we're seeing are calling 911 and letting authorities know that she is at that property.
Is this guy talking to somebody? I don't see anybody he's talking to. Is it possible that somebody's over there? He's talking to somebody. He's talking to somebody. He's talking to somebody. Or maybe he's just talking into his phone while he's looking for her. Got it. Yeah, we're going to try and come around the other side here, see who's on the other side of that fence. He was talking to somebody. I don't know if it's her, but he was talking to somebody near that dumpster. And who knows at this point if she's, I mean, it's just impossible to see. We can't tell exactly where she is, but he appeared to be communicating with somebody behind that fence. Well, this has really been a fascinating pursuit. I mean, we took it with some question. Front of the building. All right, somebody's got eyes on her in the front of the building. That's going to be the California Highway Patrol helicopter, who has made eyes on the suspect. She has apparently changed clothes. Yeah, she's changed clothes. Same clothes. I'm sorry, same clothes. She's in the same. I'm sorry, I'm getting conflicting information. She's in the same clothes now, and hopefully we'll catch a glimpse of her here on the front of the building. Look at the crowd that's starting to gather here. There's somebody with their phone out. She's in a doorway. Are they pointing at something? People are pointing at her, but
or are they trying to get the attention of the...
No sign of
What
any
is
law
going
enforcement.
on,
I just have to
bro?
reiterate what we're watching here is
Do
going
you
on.
guys not see this shit?
Closer to 10 minutes now.
The whole,
where there is
imagine like
no
a
sign
whole
of law enforcement.
fucking
They
SWAT team looking
we
for
heard
you
that
in your
LAPD
fucking
Southeast units were
neighborhood.
on the way out here, but quite frankly, guys, I can't tell you I'd be surprised if they just abandon this. It's possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but they are very quick to let these go. If there's not an immediate danger to the public, and they don't feel like it's worth they have. We don't know that, but they have other business. They have other calls coming in 911, bringing off the hook left and right. If a woman who's no longer in that stolen vehicle is just walking around South LA, it becomes here they come. Here they come.
Oh,
LAPD
there's one
Southeast
officer.
units.
There's two.
I'm sorry, Highway Patrol and LAPD. LAPD and CHP, two separate black and whites, now pulling up to this apartment building. And if they can get eyes on her, they'll be in a better position here. Otherwise, they're going to need more units to lock down this area and try and corner her. But at least there are units here, CHP and LAPD, both responding out here to the end of this pursuit.
Look at how casually everyone else is walking around. That makes me a little nervous. I don't know.
Hopefully they can help direct them to where they think she is. I just kind of,
Yo,
I kind of think that she still should be seen as a
we did
threat.
not wake up and
When it comes to
expect
her
this shit today.
behavior during the driving, and also, and who knows,
I mean, who the fuck
stadiums,
expects
and if she's
this
now trying to hang out in somebody's private property, trying to hide out, that
out
could be
of
tricky.
everything?
So he's going to go check this out. So he's moving a little quicker. Maybe he sees something. Maybe he doesn't. He's definitely spoken to a few witnesses down there. And now you see that CHP officer heading back down that alleyway in the same direction that we were trying to find her earlier. So somewhere in between these buildings here, somebody has made eyes on her. And as far as we can tell, she hasn't moved over to a different property. I think she's probably still hiding out near this parking garage. I imagine if we stay here long enough, this officer will eventually bring her back out to the street if he finds her. But you can see the crowd here. Everybody over here seems to be well aware of who she is, just based on what they're seeing on their phones and online. Yeah. I'm just so curious to see where she is, or if she actually was able to get into somebody's home from underneath there. And there's probably a lot of places that she could be hiding as well.
Let's see how good she
Yeah, I
is
mean,
at
there's a lot of
hiding
hiding
and seek.
spots here. She is on private property, so she is trespassing. But again, when we talk about those petty crimes, was that the officer? Yeah, it looked like he was looking around the back of the other. He was looking around. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, most of when you talk about some of the all of the traffic infractions and the trespassing charge, I mean, these are all relatively petty misdemeanors relative to the actual theft of the automobile. But other than that, guys, it's going to be probably a mental health situation at the end of the day. But right now, you can see there's an LAPD officer in front, a CHP officer in the back. They are trying to track her down. Yeah, this could be something that takes a while. So I don't know if there are other units showing up, or if it's going to be left to these two officers to kind of assess and get out. But I hope everybody in that apartment building can at least assess their own property, so they know that she's not intruding unbound, because there's law enforcement right there that can help out if she is. All right, so I'm being told that CHP may have her. The officer, the CHP officer who was walking through there, may have her. Whether he has the right person is yet to be, yet to be seen here. No, there he is. He's coming back down empty-handed here. So we had heard a report that CHP possibly had somebody in custody, but now you can see him coming around the building here, talking into his radio. He's got his hand on his weapon and still trying to find her now, perhaps possibly inside this building. Additional CHP officers running in there now. Private security, LAPD, CHP, all walking through that doorway. Maybe they have eyes on her, but we did have a report just a few seconds ago that CHP possibly had somebody in custody. Okay, so this is coming close. I guess it's reassuring to see that they are quickly moving, so that it looks like that they at least know an approximation of where she might be. Somebody might have told them where she is, and then so they're quickly running to where that is. Hopefully they'll get her. more LAPD units pulling in here. You can see them continuing. Yeah, backup now arriving, going through that doorway. Again, I want to just kind of caution, even though we have a report that somebody's in custody, many of these situations sometimes end up with a mistaken identity because the officers on the ground don't have as clear a description as we do. We've been watching her for the last, however many minutes, so we know exactly what she looks like. But those officers on the ground may, they be rounding up some people who they have, a suspicion of, but not positive identity. So we'll see. They may have somebody in custody. We'll see if it's the right woman, presumably inside the building, as we've seen now a number of officers walk through that doorway.
Perhaps the local security guard. I think you mentioned there was local security there. Maybe they.
It looked like a private. Yeah, there was somebody in a white shirt that looked like private security. We know we saw LAPD go in there and several CHP officers. So I'm getting more reports that we are getting confirmation now. Somebody is in custody. I think we'll find out here in short order whether it is the right suspect. But somebody is being taken into custody as we speak.
And obviously authorities don't believe that she's dangerous, maybe that she's not armed, because they're allowing people to walk around. They're not establishing a perimeter to protect people. They're not telling people to stand back. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. I think they want to keep the crowd back for sure. They obviously have a better idea now. They're focusing on that doorway. So inside, I'm sure they are keeping people away. We don't see that crime scene being established just yet. But at the end of the day, again, they're gonna, if they do it,
Damn, Lee still ain't finding her. Yo, she playing this shit too well, bro.
They will take her into custody and figure out what the situation is. But they are calling in for backup. There is a little bit of crowd control. They want to keep people back just in case things go sideways. Absolutely, Giovanna. But it does appear from everything we're hearing that somebody is being taken into custody. And now you can see that LAPD officer in a much more relaxed stance in front of the building. And some more residents coming out here. Again, a lot of commotion. You have a number of helicopters overhead, a number of law enforcement vehicles surrounding the building. And so any second now, I think we'll have our answer. But it does indeed seem like they do indeed have it. All right, so we're debating whether to stay for this and see the moment they pull her out, or we need to move on to other news. Here comes are you still with me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to tell you, we're getting some more information from our assignment desk that they are giving the code 4. So the suspect is in custody. They are on the second floor of that apartment building. Interesting. But they are calling for an ambulance. So the condition of that suspect is now very much in question. What happened on that second floor, again, very much in question, as the suspect appears to require immediate medical attention. They are waiting for that ambulance now. That explains the delay here, but units are now converging on the second floor of that building right there, but they do have confirmation that that pursuit suspect is indeed in custody. They have issued the code 4, just waiting for an ambulance. Right. So some unanswered questions. Maybe she penetrated somebody's apartment, but we'll find out as we wait there. And I think what we're going to do is move on to another other part of the newscast. Chris, we're going to go back to you as you have more information for us. So thanks a lot. We'll check back with you in just a moment. On the news, and one day after federal prosecutors announced the indictments of 5 people in the ketamine death of actor Matthew Perry, we're learning more about the defendants.
On the left, Jasmine Sanga, known as the Ketamine Queen,
Listen,
and
did she
Dr. Salvador
fucking
Plasencia, who was
kill
accused
herself?
of selling Perry.
Whoa, it's the Capital One thing.
Yo,
That's me. So, what do you do
I
outside
think
Capital
she
One?
just fucking. Oh my. Alright then. I see. Are you? What is this thing now? Why did it make me log in through here? If I bet. I'm just letting you know this shit is hard. No me control. Wish I could experience the loud music they got in the background, in the back. It seemed like having like a nice little party.